Hello everybody, back again with another video. Hope you're doing well. Hope your life's going well. Hope this week has gone well for you, and I hope that today goes well for you. Today is Sunday. It is Sunday, January the 14th. It is about 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm doing well. I'm just waking up with a few thoughts on my mind. I kind of wrote down a few notes for this video as well, and it's interesting. We're actually about to experience an Arctic freeze, or at least that's what the news is saying. So they're saying get prepared and everything, and I've heard the grocery stores are like packed. I'm not really sure why. I mean, it's not like it's gonna be a major snow event, but I guess at least here in Texas, you know, people think back to 2021 when the power went out and the whole electric grid basically went down when we had that snow day. And I remember that and everything, and I can understand, but it's not really a lot that you can do to get prepared for an Arctic freeze, other than, I guess, because you're not going to get snowed in. You might have sleet that's going to last maybe a day, and then even on the coldest day that we're going to get, it's still supposed to be above freezing. So we'll just have to see. And I drive for a living, so it's like I have to really monitor this situation, because if it's dangerous, I can't drive, and I don't want to lose out on a day worth of pay. So of course, I just have to see and monitor the situation. So yeah, last night there was some people playing some like extremely loud music, and I'm like, it's just kind of interesting. I think in my head, like, why are people like, why do they not consider other people? I guess people just have this, I'm gonna do what I want to do, I don't care about what anybody else think, which is a pretty sad mentality to have. But you had people last night that were over here like blasting their loud music. And keep in mind, there's like apartment complexes like are all around here, and so it's just absolutely ridiculous. They ended up leaving, but I don't know if somebody like called the police on them or what, but they ended up leaving. They just ended up leaving because they were out there for a while, and I don't know. That disturbed me. I'm just like, you really gonna blast your music? And it was like 11 o'clock at night, and it's like, you're really gonna blast your music, waking up the whole apartment complex? Like, come on now. Just think about somebody else for once in your life. It's ridiculous. But anyway, main topic of this video: stop calling Generation Z lazy. We are not lazy. We are some of the hardest working people around. Now, let me get one thing straight. We have a lot of Generation Z that are lazy, but we have a lot of Generation Z that are very hardworking. They are go-getters. They show up to work every day. They work hard. They give the company as much production as they possibly can. And there's a lot of us out there like that. I'm included. I work hard when I go to work. I'm not some lazy person that just wants to do the bare minimum. But people say we're lazy. We're really not. But I will tell you, for Generation Z that quote unquote is lazy, there's reasons why. You have some Gen Zers that are lazy, and I've talked to a lot of Gen Z. Obviously, I'm Gen Z, so I interact, talk to a bunch of other Gen Zers, and main reason some Gen Zers would quote unquote be lazy, and I don't really consider these reasons to be lazy reasons. These are more like, okay, they're kind of waking up to what's going on in the world, and they just don't want to be a part of it. There's a lot of Gen Zers that just don't want to work because they just feel as though they there's no real way to get ahead in life with the wages that are being provided by these companies, these corporations. Remember, the corporation just wants to make money, so the corporation is willing to pay you less in order to make more money. I mean, we see this with the biggest corporations laying people off, and it's just ridiculous. Just the layoffs and you know, one of the reasons I've seen was AI. Another reason is because companies realize they overhired and now they have to lay people off. I told you, you will get screwed in this job market, you know, especially if you don't have some sort of skill that can set you apart. You have to have some sort of skill that can set you apart. Just coming into the workforce with no sort of skill whatsoever, it's not going to work. You're not going to make any sort of living wage. Buying a home is going to be out of reach. It's just what it is, unfortunately. And we have a lot of Gen Zers that are like, okay, I'm not going to get ahead anyway if I work, so why work? That's the mentality they have, and I can understand that, you know. I can understand, like I say, a lot of Gen Zers still live with their parents, and that's due to the economy. You know, it's not really that we're lazy, but it's just a lot of Gen Zers are like, what's the point? What's the point of this? You know, I can understand. I can understand. We have more Gen Zers that are also going into trades as well. They're foregoing the college experience. They don't want to go into $100,000 in student loan debt where you're never going to pay it off. A bank, other people are going to get rich while you, Mr. or Mrs. Gen Z, get screwed by the college system, the student loan system, while other people get rich. It's a system where you're just gonna get screwed. Gen Z knows this. Some millennials know this. Jen Xers and baby boomers, some of them know, but others, they still are stuck in the mentality where, oh, you should just go to college. I mean, this is how you get ahead in life. No, it's not. Unless you're going into the medical field or engineering. I can't even really say tech because tech is just having so many layoffs. Unless it's like the medical field or engineering, certain STEM programs, all them other degrees are just not worth it. It's just not worth the money. It's not worth going into $80,000 in student loan debt to get a job that is going to start you at $45,000 to $50,000 a year, or you have to go through 3 or 4 rounds of interviews while you basically are asked, a whole ton of like questions that I don't even want to get into the whole like corporate job recruiting process. It's just ridiculous. I'm kind of glad I'm in trucking. I've never had to deal with like a interview that felt like an interrogation, basically. What are you going to do in this situation? What are you going to do in that situation? Like in trucking, your interview is basically, hey, do you have this experience? Basic questions. I've never been bombarded with like crazy questions in a trucking job interview. Some of these companies in trucking don't even interview you, but that's a whole different story. Mega carriers don't. they don't even interview you like that. If you meet the basic requirements, you basically have a job. But anyway, trades, trucking, HVAC, welding, like I always say, plumbing, car mechanic. These trades Gen Z are going into. They don't want this whole college thing where they know they're going to get screwed by the college loan system, you know. So we're not lazy. We're just choosing different paths. Oh, college is, you can't handle college. A lot of older people say that about Gen Z. We're lazy, you know. Gen Z, we're dealing with the crazy inflation, the fact that most of us can't afford homes. We're dealing with that when older people didn't have to deal with that. Homes were still affordable back in 1970, 1980s. You had it easier. Older person that wants to talk down on Gen Z and talk about how, oh, Gen Z is lazy and entitled. Well, hey, Gen Z, like I say, Gen Z, we just were fed a tale where you push college on everybody. I remember when I was in high school, senior year high school. Where are you going to college? Did you fill out your FAFSA? They show you how to fill out a FAFSA. They show you how to make yourself a debt slave to the student loan system in high school. When you're 16, 17, just turning 18 and you don't know any better. Then you come out, you get to be 25 like me, and you realize it was all a sham. It was pretty much useless. Gen Z is realizing this. It's not that we're lazy, we just realize it's all a game. Everything is designed to screw you over. Inflation, not being able to afford a home, increasing gas prices, increasing car prices, increasing car insurance prices. Things we think about as Gen Zers. Why? Why try hard? Why work hard? I understand that mentality. I'm not of that mentality. I work hard, but I'm just saying I get it if somebody chooses to kind of drop out of the system and just say, hey, you know, I'm just going to live my life and whatever happens, happens. I get that. I get that. You know, we have people out here that say, you know what, I already know I'm never going to be able to afford a home. So I'm just going to try to live on as little as possible and not stress myself out, you know. A lot of Gen Z millennials, they're not having kids. I can understand why. Kids are very expensive. And Gen Z and millennials, they don't want to bring kids into a world like this with all this chaos and inflation and economic uncertainty and wars and this and that worry and this. It's just, why do that? We have it harder than previous generations. A lot of people say that we're really screwed if this current economic situation continues. It's something to think about before you make an assessment about a whole generation. Gen Z is lazy. They're entitled. No, we're not. We just realize the game that's being played on us. You know, I'm considered Gen Z, but I'm like the very beginning of Gen Z. I know what's going on. Millennials know what's going on. You know, Millennials, a lot of millennials are like in their 30s and stuff now. They know it's all a game. It's all a game. Housing, cars. It's all extremely expensive. And I've heard older people say, oh, but prices have come down on other things. Things that used to be really expensive aren't as expensive anymore. Like what? TVs, computers, things we don't necessarily need. While necessities, things we need, food prices, gas, insurance, housing, things we actually need, went up in price. So it's just not even really a fair comparison. You have to think about those things when you call a whole generation lazy. We're just kind of the more awakened generation, the one that we know this whole thing is, I can understand why. Like I say, I chose to just go into a trade because to me, that's really the only real viable option, other than like the medical field and maybe engineering. That's the only way you're gonna really make it in this economy. Essential services. I think they're automating the non-essential services a lot faster than the essential services. So I chose to go into an essential service, truck driving, and I like driving in general too. It's the only way you're gonna make it. Gen Z is realizing this. So we're not lazy. We just understand the game. Now, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all were able to just think about some of these things that I said. I hope you all were relaxed, of course. But, yeah, we're not lazy. But, yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. I don't even know what I'm going to do with the rest of my Sunday. I may go outside, but it's supposed to be cold today even. So, I don't know. I'm kind of ready for summer again because I want to go back outside, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you all for watching this video, and I do hope that you enjoy your Sunday.